Hey, 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 what's up, you guys? Good morning, good morning. Or should I say, grand rising, good morning, and buenos dias. Today is May 16th, 2025. Happy Friday. And the time is 9:32 a.m. here in California, and it's 12:32 p.m. on the East Coast. So you get to kick it with your girl misbehaving for a little bit while you eat your lunch. What's up, baby? How y'all doing? I've been gone for a minute. I've been gone for a minute, but baby, I had to come back because I am misbehaving, and the name of the channel is Misbehaving is Fun, where I talk about real people, real problems, and real drama. You know, first thing first, because I cannot get into the commentary until the 10-minute mark. But honey, let's shoot the breeze. How are y'all doing? I hope everyone is fine. Don't let life stress you out too much. Nobody's perfect. Be honey, if we were all perfect, then honey, there would be no need for us to praise God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. A nice word I got from the VS icon. Good morning. How are you, Kashori's Kitchen? That's a buttercup right there. That's a buttercup. Good morning. So, y'all, I've been, I would say I was chilling, but I'm not chilling. I mean, the commentary this morning is not going to be too heavy. But, honey, I've had to prioritize some things because y'all know I'll go live like every 3 weeks. Now, wait a minute. Hey, Miss Logical Speaks, how you doing? Live said, hey, regulator, miss you, girl. Oh, thank you, Logical. Thank you, baby. Y'all, I've had to prioritize some things. And, you know, I can argue with the best of them. Now, y'all know that look. If you've been in one of my lives, you know I cuss somebody out. I'll get them together real good. But for the most part, I'm at a stage in life where I choose peace. And I don't like to hurt anyone. I don't like to see anyone hurt. And I oftentimes find myself, and all of this is from life experience. I often find myself like things that I've gone through and I've overcome, it has caused me to be empathetic to people and want to extend kindness to them. Just because I'm kind, it doesn't mean I'm a pushover. I'm going to let you walk all over me. But oftentimes when I see people going through conflict, or if they're acting aggressive or hostile or popping off at the mouth, before I respond, sometimes I often find myself wondering what type of childhood or lifestyle, what you say, Lodge? What type of lifestyle or childhood, or what have you experienced in your life to cause you to respond that way? And I'm not saying misfortune or trauma is only specific for particular community or gender or socioeconomic status. I'm quite certain that a mass majority of people here online have experienced some things that they've overcome. It's just that some people know how to manage their emotions and resolve conflicts while others cannot. And for those that cannot, before I react, oftentimes I try to wonder, I ask myself, I'm empathetic, basically, but I find myself looking at them without responding, like, what have you gone through to cause you to react this way? So, Miss Logical, you said I'm good and you missed you much. Glad to see you back. Miss Logical, thank you for that. But y'all know, baby, y'all know, honey, I may be here today and take off for several weeks. Some people like to say it's laziness, but it's not laziness. It's I'm honest, almost to a fault. Um, I share a lot of things, and it's not because I'm trusting of everyone, but I know that some of the things that I experience, I'm not the only one going through it, but I'm trying to manage and get back to who I used to be. Sometimes when you sit back, the person that you were in your 20s is not the same person you are in your 30s, your 40s, 50s, 60s, and so on. Because we have so much wisdom and experience that, hey, good morning, Miss AKA. Um, we have so much experience and life experience that we've gone through that has shaped us or sometimes harmed us. But I saw a quote somewhere where I think it was a Asian gentleman. It was a quote on his page. It was something to the effect of basically like things that you may have experienced as a child. You know, yes, you can say your experience is what shaped you. You are doing things that you're doing because of your childhood, but at some point, as we become adults, we can no longer use that as an excuse. And I'm aware of that, and sometimes when I get to a place, I have so many thoughts like racing through my mind. Like I'm so rigid with organization. I have to have things organized. I have to see things clean. And if I don't have that, it just makes my mind race. And if I can't do something the correct way or be my best at it, I choose not to do it. And then sometimes, I don't know, it's just hard to explain. But like when people encounter me on the street or in person, they just think, oh, you give sound advice, you're so kind and this, that, and the other. And I am all those things because maybe I'm a toot my horn, beep beep. But I am trying to find at least some enjoyment in things that I love to do. You guys, I love to read. I love to read. And then I'm also noticing that things that I've learned, and I think people that are older than me can relate to this as well, because I've encountered people from like the baby boomer generation where we've had discussions of how education has changed, society has changed. Like, it's weird for me when I'm walking out in public in stores and when I smile to people and I say hello or good morning, and then people are responding back like, do you work here? And I'm like, no. And then they'll say, well, why are you speaking to me? I said, because that's what we're supposed to do, greet one another. Or, there's a lack of just common courtesy, manners. I just don't know. It's just some things are weird. Even when I go to like the doctor office, like stuff that I was taught as a nurse. I mean, even before I became a nurse, things that was taught in school many years ago, it's like it's changing. Or, the medical staff want to tell me one thing, and when they don't have any evidence to support what they're telling me, and it doesn't make sense. Like, I'm one of those people and I have that type of mind. Hey, Sassy Brown, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Yes, Miss AKA. So if you've been a nurse for years, You can look, you know, at how things were back when you first started nursing and maybe things that you learned. And as the years progress, things are changing. Or when you go into an office or a hospital, you find that people are just telling you anything and it's not it's not logical. And I have one of those minds that if it's not logical, it's not organized, it doesn't make sense. Something wrong with you. Something is definitely wrong with you. I'm one of those old school people. Yes, I appreciate electronics, but honey, I am not electronically signing anything without you giving me something in writing on paper of exactly what I'm signing. Because you're telling me it's a consent form. I need to see exactly what am I giving consent for. Because they are still doing research. You mess around, you'll been and signed something and you'll be locked up. But anyway, we have gotten past the 13-minute the 13-minute mark. Would you say, Miss AKA, you said we took vitals manually. Now everything is electronic and automatic. Yes. And the one thing my instructor taught me, Miss AKA, is that never depend on electronics. Like, she said you can use it, but if you notice a discrepancy in your patient's vital signs, the first thing we're going to do is assess the patient, see if they're symptomatic. We go from the head to toe and see what's going on, but you're going to check it manually because manually is the best. You can go in some of these offices and these folks don't even know how to properly place a blood pressure cuff. What you say, Miss Logical? You said I totally understand, regulator. I am of the boomer generation. Peace, love, and respect is my thing. I love everyone. Yes, yes. Sassy Brown, what you say? I'm good. Hope all is good with you and your family. Miss AKA said people use it as a crutch. Yes. Uh-huh. Miss AKA, they don't. Some people don't know how to take a manual blood pressure. Show don't, honey. And I'll be looking at them. I'll be like, Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Hey, Lady Rowe. Do you hear me? I remember when each shift documented in different colors. Yes, remember? I don't know. Well, Miss AK, you 48. Well, you close to my age. You're a little younger than me. But y'all remember when we used to do our documentation on papers? When they would have the folded, it would be like a three-part paper. You'd have day shift, evening shift, and night shift. Or in nursing, we call it knock. Now they have these 12-hour shifts, so you just have AM and PM. Yes. How many of y'all remember making those old school nursing care plans, baby? We didn't have no computer. You had the symptoms, the presenting problems. Now, we didn't give medical diagnosis, we had our nursing diagnosis, and we put down what the problem is. What remember PI, the plan, implementation, and oh Lord, I forgot the E. Lord, have mercy. Add PI, assessment, diagnosis, implementation, and God dog it, I forgot what the E was for. Lord, have mercy. Black, blue for day shift, green for evening, and yep, Lady Rowe. Yep. Yes, Lady Rowe, when we had to write everything out in print and trying to understand everyone's handwriting. Yes, yes. And that's why, if you ever look at your after visit summary when you get out of the hospital and with this electronic charting, and it has made it easy for people to copy uh documentation charting from the previous nurse. And I always tell people when they would come with me during orientation, If they had to follow me and I was their preceptor, I would tell them what you want to do is do your own assessment. Don't ever copy what somebody else documented. I said, because you could be documenting the wrong thing. You could be documenting somebody has a peripheral IV in the left forearm. Honey, they got a PIC line or a midline. And, and they left upper arm, but you didn't copy what somebody else put. But honey, yep, the good old days. Yes, Lady Rowe, nursing judgmentation, blah blah blah. Yep, that's right. So anyway, y'all, we didn't wasted so much time, and I appreciate that. So we are already 17 minutes in, so I can go ahead and do my commentary. So the topic of this uh, live is: Are you addicted to Traumavision, otherwise known as reality television? And so, it doesn't matter who it is, who's the producer, who's the network. But I put a few of the shows that I have watched, which are Real Housewives of Atlanta, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Married to Medicine, Basketball Wives Los Angeles. Um, what else? Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood when Tierra Marie was up on there. And the one thing I have learned visiting various content creators and listening to people come on panels and share their story, as well as watching reality television, you know, we have all experienced trauma in some form, whether it be childhood or adulthood, which is why so many emotions are elicited from fans. Why you get these various responses where you have people online leaving negative comments. And before I go a little further, why y'all leave me? Oh, but before I go any further, I find myself, I have to remember that Portia's younger than me and Britt Edie is definitely younger than me. And I'm still a member of Team Twirl, baby. I ain't going nowhere. I'm always representing Team Twirl. But when I watch these women and men on these reality shows, I realize that there has been some sort of trauma that they've experienced in their life, which has caused them to react and behave the way that they behave. It's not a justification because, there are some people, some of us that have experienced things, and, we are kind to others, we are empathetic to others, but that's not the case for everyone. But I said some hurtful things um, about Brit, and I owe that young lady an apology. Because although I know it's entertainment and they sign up for it, but you know what? These people are real people too. They have feelings. Um, Anyone that signs up reality television is par for the course. Fans are going to tear you apart. But as fans, we don't have to contribute to that because, yes, they can ignore the comments, but then again, it may be in their contract that they have to engage online with the fans uh, as part of being on reality television. Britt Edie is so young. And the one thing, hearing her story, how she tries to give this positive image of her upbringing, uh, as if she was raised in a two-parent home and so forth. I said everything wasn't good in that household because how did she end up doing the things that she was doing at such a young age? You don't do that if you come from a great upbringing. But then again, sometimes you can come from a great upbringing, but if you have low self esteem and you are a follower and not a leader, you tend to be one of those people that are easily influenced. Yes, Miss AKA, she doesn't make it easy. Yeah. Now I ain't saying I'm a fan of her, but she's younger than me, and as an older woman, I am supposed to impart knowledge, share experience with younger women. Um, so hopefully that they can avoid things. And I'm quite certain that as she gets older, because we all um evolve to different people as we get older, she'll be able to share her experience with younger young ladies. Hopefully, because everybody doesn't evolve, they stay in the same place. But hopefully, she does evolve and she'll be able to share her story and her experience with younger women, young girls, so that they can avoid the pitfalls that she was in. Um, the one episode, I think episode 9, I believe it is, when they went to her parents' home and they were helping her mom move out. What you say, Miss AK? You said it makes you wonder if she was not protected. Not saying her mother didn't do a good job. Right. I agree with you. I agree with you. Because I'm gonna touch on a minute with that right here, a lack of protection. Miss Logical, what you say, Teen Twirl here. I have backed off on reality TV. It's difficult for a boomer to relate to the younger generation's mindset, actions, and interactions with others. Yes, Miss Logical, and I'm part of Generation X, so I feel just like you do as well. But it dawned on me, it really did, that it quite possibly could be an experiment on us, the viewers, the fans, because maybe it's saying something about us. I mean, I don't tune in. If something is negative, I'm not watching it. I don't find enjoyment on beating up someone or tearing them down. Even if I don't care for you, you're still somebody at the end of the day. And sometimes I wonder, like, I know it elicits emotions from us as fans because some of us may have gone through something that they've gone through. And just like you and I, Miss Logical, like, you know, we believe there are some women that believe in holding themselves with class. You don't want to disrespect your body, or you take pride in your appearance. But I'm learning that a lot of these women have low self-esteem. I think it was Nene Leakes from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I can't remember. God, I can't remember who she was interviewing with. But she was talking about, how we have all made comments. I know I have, about her changing appearance, the brightening of her skin, but it's just not Nene. I have noticed that a lot of our reality actors, actresses, um, when they first start off, they're beautifully brown skinned, toned, they're natural, you know, and then the longer that they're on television, eventually the skin start lightening, or whether it's the makeup that they're putting on, they're looking two-tone when you see them on camera. The face is light bright, damn near white, and the hands are dark as Hershey's chocolate kisses. The blonde wigs, some of them, the women have low self-esteem where they go and get plastic surgery, tampering with their nose. That's low self-esteem. That's part of, okay, I've listened to the fans tear me down. Now this part right here is what I had heard from Nene about how fans say negative things about them and their appearance. So then they go and have plastic surgery. And then when they get the plastic surgery, we're criticizing them for that. So, what you say? Um, what you say, Miss AKA Logical? Yes, some shows just want to see how far they. Yes, they're taking it far because the viewers are not tuning away. They're not tuning away. As much as we complain, if they're not going to change anything as long as people are tuning in, and people are tuning in. Um, I can't remember where I heard it the other day, but they said there was a news article where the author of the article, and you guys, if I could remember who the author, what the publication it was or article, or what channel I heard this from, it might have been on Instagram. I'm not sure. I try to stay away. I'm not there too often, but more than likely was on YouTube. But they were saying this gentleman wrote an article in where he was bashing the fans of Real Housewives of Atlanta, basically saying that the fans are ruining Real Housewives of Atlanta because we're uh, longing for the nostalgia. And to me, no, we're not damaging the show. Really, what he's saying is because that there are so many women upset and disappointed in the direction that Real Housewives of Atlanta is being taken. And we don't like for women to, these women are out here with pasties on, butt hanging out, nothing classy about that. They're not showing women of substance and elegance. They're not showing that. So there are a lot of women that are complaining about what they're seeing on the show, Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 16. So no, we're not craving for nostalgia. We want some common decency, and we want black women on television to be shown in respectfully. If you want to see a black woman that has no respect for herself and want to dress in the whole couture, you got baddies and several other networks that you can tune into. So I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that or accept that. That's the correct verbiage. Miss AK, you said some people do not know how to regulate their emotions from a reality TV show or detach from it, I should say. And you're absolutely correct about that as well. You are absolutely correct. They're caught up. And speaking of regulations, there was a post on Instagram because people have been responding to my comment. Um, it showed a video of a young black woman with a child um at at the movie theater. And the woman was going off. She was upset. She was mad. She was yelling and cursing. And the gentleman at the movie theater, I don't know if he was the manager or what, but he was telling her, trying to escort her out the movie theater. But the lady kept yelling she wanted her money back. She wanted her money back. And so I wish I could find that post, but people responded to me because I said it appears as if the woman is in distress and she is unable to regulate her emotions for the sake of peace and to save the child from further embarrassment. Just acknowledge the woman's feelings, give her the money back for the movie, and escort her out the theater. That's all you have to do. I've had people respond back to me negatively, but I did have two people respond back civilly. One kind of semi civil. I mean, it was civil, but they told me they wish they could find my inner child and kick my inner child in the ass. And I responded in kind, and I told them, uh, you might raise your leg and walk away with a nub. I come in peace, but I ain't never afraid to go to war. Now, thank you for your uh friendly banter and have a blessed day. So there are a lot of people that can't regulate their emotions, get upset. But I do believe I've said this a while back. That is really who these network owners are looking for when they cast people on reality television. They're looking for people that have been through trauma, that may have some sort of mental illness, um, be explosive and impulsive, and quite basically and frankly, unable to control their emotion. Um, Real Housewives of Atlanta was never supposed to uh, be the type of show where violence is celebrated or people can overlook or endorse a woman sleeping with another woman's man or even saying she'll sleep with another woman's man. So if the fans are not saying anything, or the fans continue to tune in, they think that's what you want to see. And then, honestly, what they are trying to do is attract a younger audience. And I'm not saying that we don't have any young women in their 30s and 20s that are classy and elegant. We do have those, but that's not what they're trying to cast. Bravo is trying to get the audience that watches what is that, baddies? And real, what is that, love and hip hop Atlanta. Let's just be honest now. Let's be honest. Yeah, what you said, I just said her makeup make her look like she went to Phaedra's funeral home. Ooh, yes. Miss Logical, what you said, I just cannot relate or enjoy the show. So much conflict. I really come for some drama, but resolution is important. Respect and kinship among black women. Respect. Exactly. And there was a subscriber that had left because I had did a video and I think I had made commentary. I didn't call out who the woman was, but I said that BBL, ooh, looked horrible. Horrible. I can't understand why black women are getting uh plastic surgery at all when black women are so beautiful, naturally beautiful. And I realize everybody's self-esteem level is not uh at the same level. Too much trauma trying to fit in. But my supporter said she basically to make fun of women's body, she did not find it entertaining. And I don't find it entertaining. However, now this is kind of what I see. When a woman takes it upon herself to get surgery where it uh messes with her appearance, where it looks abnormal, I can't help but to respond and say something. But I have reflected and I had to think, what would make a woman feel like she had to go get plastic surgery? I just low self-esteem. And honestly, they have said a lot of women get plastic surgery not to appease men, but to impress other women. So I don't know how true that is. I ain't never had no plastic surgery. Miss AKA said the fashions are dreadful. Miss AKA, I have never watched an episode of Baddies. I don't understand that point. Neither have I, Miss AKA. I have never watched Baddies. I've only seen the clips. I don't even watch commentary from content creators that do reviews on the show. I don't know. Is it because I'm older? Is it because I don't like to see foolishness, or really because I do want to create an environment of peace where when I hear people doing unnecessary cursing and fighting for nothing and it doesn't make any sense, I I just tune out. I mean, I do that in my real life as well. I do that in my real life as well. Then I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but a content creator had done a video. Uh, who was Lakeisha Keisha? I think that's her name. Lakeisha Keisha did a video saying that Sweet Tea and Dr. G were fired from Married to Medicine. I didn't like the way that she was treated on that show. I didn't like that a group of older educated, well, it doesn't even matter if they were educated because they were acting ignorant. So let me not bring education level into this, but I didn't like that a group of older married women would pick on a younger woman. But for the life of me, I can't understand why Dr. Greg would want to go back on that show after he was there the first time, in the allegations of him being abusive was spread on national television. And most certainly not when Dr. Heavenly went online and called him a pedophile. I definitely would have been done with the show. So I don't know. But yeah, I heard that she was fired, and I didn't like that that woman was bullied. I didn't like that the fans picked on her. So that caused me also to start to see from Nini's point of view of how the fans can talk about your looks and appearance so much where it will cause you to go and have plastic surgery. But I'm glad that, at this point she had not succumbed or gave in to fan pressure to change what she looked like, because there are a lot of fans, because I know I love seeing someone in their natural state. Now I know some of you don't care for Melody. I know that. But the one thing I can say, she has come on live without that wig. She done came on without her costume. So you know what the real her looks like. So I don't know. I don't know, baby. Miss AK, you said I don't understand why they don't have a therapist on the set. Because Miss AKA, they want the toxicity. They want the drama because the drama sells. The drama sells. They don't want no therapist on set. But we gonna see what's gonna happen, because with I'll put it in the other video I'm gonna do on Andy about his show, the Vanderpump Rule, because that lawsuit with Ariana Maddox and Tom Sandoval are being sued by Rachel Leviss for revenge porn. Uh, so I'm gonna talk about that in another video. I won't talk about it here, but that's toxic as well. These reality shows, they promote environments like that, because people are going to tune in. You're going to have people that see something that they've experienced that elicit an emotion, a raw emotion from them, to where they're going to get online and get the typing, and there's engagement. And then you have people going back and forth, arguing, fighting, champion for the person that they support. What'd you say, Miss AKA? Well, I had a negative cup. The only procedure I had was a breast augmentation. You so Lord have mercy, Miss AKA. You said you had a negative cup. Lord Jesus. Betty's Kishori's Kitchen said Betty is not for our generation. Miss Logical, you said I believe the breakdown of black women is done by design. Yes, ma'am. Black men have always been shown as negative. Yes. Now, to bring down the culture, a negative focus image had to become the main focus. That's right. You are absolutely right, Miss Logical. You are absolutely right. I said the black woman is the creation. We carry the child. We give birth to the child. So they've already broken the black man, as evidenced by the black man refusal to defend and protect a black woman, or even to speak to her when he sees that, okay, she's not in control of her emotions. It's just so much I could say with that. But I do agree with you. They are purposely trying to destroy the image of the black woman. If there's no black woman, there's no creator of life. There's no one to carry the black baby, no one to give birth to the black baby, and the end of our community as a whole. You have so many different things, people hating each other, black women not loving themselves, black men hating black women hating black men, when we both have the same fight. I find myself surrounded by people that aren't black, and I have to constantly educate them on verbiage that they're using, because they tend to think that what they see on social media or television is a true representation of what black women are. For example, uh, last week this lady called me a bitch for no reason. I did not do anything to her. Her child was holding the door as my son and I were coming in, and I told her son, thank you. And I'm not saying this child's name to protect their identity, but I told her son, thank you. And immediately she says, what did you say to my son? And I said, I told your son, thank you. Because what happened, I need to set up the whole picture. So I tell her son, thank you. My son and I come to walk through the door. So her son turns his back towards us because just a little boy and he's holding on to the door. So as my son comes through the door, he takes his hand and he touches the little boy in his back. And my son touched his back with an open palm. He didn't pinch him. He didn't punch him. He took his hand and placed it on the center of his back. So the little boy said, that the child can communicate. So his mother could have asked him, confirmed what I had said to her. This chick postured at me, and for those of you that may not be familiar with the term posture, like she stiffened up her body as if she was about to swing on me and called me a bitch. And a case manager was standing there at the door, and I said, I did not call you a bitch. And so the case manager said, separate, ladies, go separate ways. But there was no need for her to say that because I was already inside the building and this woman had walked outside the building and I wasn't approaching her. And I'm just looking. And so the case manager said, I want to validate that she did call you a bitch and you didn't say anything to her. I said she lacks emotional intelligence. I said, I believe she is trying to elicit a response from me. I said, I am not that type of black woman where if you call me out of my name, I'm immediately going to swing on you and start fighting. No. But if she were to hit me or move her body as if she was about to hit me, I will defend myself. And I'll tell you now, there's not enough people here that would be able to keep me off of her if she were to hit me. And knowing that she has a man with her, and due to my history of trauma and domestic violence, I'm a woman. I cannot whoop a man. So immediately, I'm going to look for something to defend myself and my child because, in my mind, they're trying to hurt us. And I'm going to do whatever I need to do to protect me and my child. And that's all I said. So you have people that are not familiar with our culture, that are watching what they see on television and social media and painting us all with one brush. Logical said, yes, regulator, black women is the backbone of our culture. Focus on negative images of the black woman, destroy the children, the entire culture. Yes, because you already see where women are celebrating having abortions. You already see that. So I don't know. I just choose to when I'm walking around and when I see black men, I tell them hello. And I always tell them, I said, you know, the black man is God. I said, but you can't take your rightful place here on earth until you do right by the black woman. You have to start protecting, respecting, and loving us. And once you do that, you will have your rightful place here on earth. And every time when I say that to a black man, I'm dead serious when I say that, but every time I tell them that, boy, they put a smile in their face and they get to, thank you for that. You're right, sister. I say, yes, the black man is God, but you can't take your rightful place until you honor, respect, protect, and love on the black woman. There is too much division. We need more unity. Too much division. But y'all, we've been up here for 49 minutes. I didn't mean to be on here this long. Oh, and as far as I didn't put up any photos, I didn't do a copyright disclaimer because that's in my description box. But baby, I don't be on the live that much to be paying StreamYard no 44.99. They is not about to pimp me. That's another thing. Another story for another video, how folks will arbitrarily change the price of things, and because they have your credit card or debit card on file, they go ahead and sign you up and increase the price, and and you ain't got no option but either cancel it, discontinue it. And when I tried to cancel it before, they told me it was like some message they would delete all my videos or something like that. So I said, to hell with it. I'll make sure it's a credit card on there with, I'll put that little Cash App card on there. So when the money run out of that Cash App card where it can't pay for it, it'll be canceled. So honey, now they done put me on the little freebie. Cause honey, this is free. So when you get it for the free 99, you cannot put up no background photos, and you cannot put up no overlays and all that stuff. And honey, I am not about to upgrade my membership because I am not online like that, making no money like that. Now, if I was online every day, I could justify paying that amount. But honey, I want to thank y'all for coming in. If you're part of the replay gang, hit the like. And I want to say thank you because I'm a little blogger, but my presence felt like a big dog. Y'all have a beautiful day. Y'all be safe in these YouTube streets. And honey, I heard they kicking up some dust over there in the Love and Marriage Huntsville sector. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I was over in that live when Melody went live. I ain't do no commentary on it. Honey, going forward, I'm just gonna watch the shows that I like to watch, and I might do a live on it to talk about the effects or what that person may or may not have gone through. Because I know one thing. Um, y'all know I if you don't know, you definitely know now. I'm a member of Team Twirl. But baby, after last Sunday's episode, even I felt bad for Portia. Now, I'm not justifying her taking no man, because honey, that is whole behavior, Portia. That is whole behavior. And honey, you know you're wrong for that. Honey, Portia, it ain't enough money in the world where these folks could have me come up on television and play the role of a Jezebel. That's why I say these folks is acting. It has to be. They have to be an act, and everybody playing their part. But the reason I feel sorry for Portia is because Shamia ain't no angel. Shamia, you gonna girl. You gonna wait by what 8, 9 years? Now you want to get mad and wait until you become a housewife. Now you want to get mad with Portia, honey. Look, look. Shamia, girl, you doing too much. You doing too much. You and Portia two sides of the same coin, and I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. I tore down Love and Marriage Huntsville because I said the producers and the content creators and the cast members are in cahoots. Honey, I'm finna get on Andy Cohen head top, baby. I'm finna get on Andy Cohen head top because, honey, I think the same thing. In fact, I believe. The same thing is happening over here on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all up here acting because stuff that was in media over 2 years ago, now y'all coming up on this show and Shamia and Portia doing this bad acting. Honey, you can't tell me a happily married woman is up over here uh, helping some old low down scoundrel of a man gather evidence or obtain evidence in order to do his wife dirty in divorce court, honey. All I want to say is, Drew, honey, you're making some money. Just go on and get out that man house. Go on and get out that man house, honey. If he cutting up like that, I know you love all your kids. Leave Ralph with his kids, and you take Josiah with you. You and JoJo, what's your baby name? I think it's Josiah, but you take JoJo with you, Drew, and y'all go on and get y'all a little 2 bedroom townhome or something. Go ahead and do that. Cause see, you messed up. Uh, Ralph been planning to get over on you, baby. That's why he went ahead and bought that house and ain't put your name up on it with your funds. And your name ain't up on it. Now y'all going through the divorce and you up in that house with that man, honey. Drew, just go on and move out with JoJo and leave them 2 kids right on with Ralph. Let him raise them kids, cause honey, uh, I feel for you, Drew. But baby, you better spill your own tea before they spill it for you. And speaking of Drew and spilling her tea, I don't know what this fascination is on forcing Drew to admit whether or not she's been with a woman. That's her business. Y'all stop trying to force people out the closet if they ain't ready to come out the closet or they ain't ready to tell you that they slept with someone of the same gender as them. Just because you're comfortable and happy, that's for you. Well, everybody know Candy Burris Tucker, oh sugar mama. She sleep with everybody. She sleep with everybody, and she'll tell you who she done slept with, and she ain't got no shame in her game. That's her right. But y'all gonna leave Drew alone. And Portia and Shamia, y'all some low down dirty dogs. Now, I didn't say I ain't gonna get no commentary and talk about y'all, but y'all some low down dirty dogs to do that to Drew. And back to Andy Cohen, because I want to hurry up and wrap this up. But we gonna get back to Andy Cohen. Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm gonna come back to y'all. It seemed like Love and Marriage Huntsville is about to gear back up. Married to Medicine is done data. They done fired Sweet Tea, so ain't no need of me even going up over there watching when the new season come. But we gonna come up over here and close this out with your messy ass, your little cockeyed ass, Andy Cohen. You had the audacity to fire the Kenya Moore because of what she did, but you had the nerve to sit your tail up on Watch What Happened Live. Was it this past Sunday or was it the Sunday before? I can't remember. But you had Shamia up on there with you and Ariana Maddox. Ariana Maddox is being sued for revenge porn because she is the one that shared the videos and the photos with the other cast members of Vanderpump Rules. She did it out of spite after finding out that her then man, Tom Sandoval, was cheating on her with Rachel or Raquel Levis. But that don't even make no sense to me, Andy. And my spidey senses tell me it's about to be some sort of new show coming on dealing with lawsuits because you already got Carolyn Lyne Manzo suing Andy. What's the other little white girl, Leah Sweeney or whatever, about to sue Andy? And then who else? Brandy Glanville about to sue Andy. And who else? It's a whole bunch of folks, but Tom, Ariana, and Levis, Raquel will have their day in court this fall, you guys, November 3rd, 2025. They will be going into court. So y'all got to make that make sense to me. You fired Kenya Moore because Kenya Moore showed photos that she found online at her hair salon, the Kenya Moore Hair Spa. Bravo could have edited it all out and never, we would have not been none the wiser. But you went ahead and aired it and you fired Kenya Moore. But you got a proven revenge porn executor sitting up next to you on Watch What Happened Live. Child, make it make sense. What you say, Lodge? You said no Kenya, no Real Housewives of Atlanta for me. Lodge, that was my thinking too until I saw Angela, Angela Oakley. Angela Oakley put it. She coming through. Oh, Big Ann, she coming through representing, baby. It ain't Mob Wives. This is Real Housewives of Atlanta. But baby, she coming through representing for the West Side of Chicago. All right now, Angela. All right now, Angela said, ain't nobody finna tell my tea on me. I tell it myself, and ain't nobody finna play in my face about my husband. That's my man. I told y'all it's three types of women out here. There are women that know their man is cheating and let their man cheat in peace. There are women that don't know their man is cheating and ignorance is bliss. And then you have the third type of woman that once they know that their man is cheating, they go ahead and leave. And baby, Angela Oakley is from the school of I know my man is cheating. We didn't separate. He didn't got his act together. So I don't know. Are we gonna find out something later in the season? I don't know. But one thing's for certain, honey, Angela Oakley is in charge of the girls. Angela Oakley is in charge of the girls. And anytime she can get up on Portia's neck and hold Portia accountable and Shamia, all them women, hold them all accountable, Angela. I love it. I love it. But I do miss Kenya. But hey, Miss Logical, you know what they say. Man's rejection is God's protection. So, honestly, I'm glad Kenya's not there right at this moment. Because, honey, outside of Miss Oakley and Cynthia Bailey, these women are declassing the show. Declassing the show, honey. Mm. You know what? I may go later. I may go live later on today because I need to talk about that Shamia situation. As it relates to her and her potential, her potential surrogate. Uh, that situation, that episode, that scene from that episode bothered me because they utilized that woman for entertainment, and she may have been aware. She may have purposely showed up at that office appearing like that because they knew how we, the viewers, would respond. There have been some people speculating that that young woman, Asha, was an addict or had just gotten out of rehab. Shamia, you better not let her carry no baby, and this, that, and the other. But I don't want to touch on that right there. I just want to say it was unfortunate to see that scene because it reminded me of how so many uh, uh what do I want to call it, adoption agencies and surrogate agencies, how they take advantage of women that are, how can I put it, going through not only financial distress, but emotional and mental distress as well. Because although Asha was sitting up there smiling, as if she's happy, let's go ahead and get this on the road, oftentimes a smile masks is sorrow. It masks sorrow. Because I've shared my story of placing a child for uh, adoption. And, I hid my sadness with a smile, but eventually I did tell the people. And I spoke with the social worker that I was depressed at the time. And, those people didn't care. They just wanted that baby to give to that wealthy family. So that's a whole nother video uh, dedicated to Shamia that I think I'll talk about it later on. But yeah, reality television is built, the foundation of it is trauma. That's why I call it Traumavision. It's built on trauma. There is no desire to uh, create an environment of positivity and peace. They love the chaos and dysfunction. They love to get the fan base rattled up. Why else would they continually have topics of abuse and violence? So yeah, what you say, logical? You said facts. Real Housewives of Atlanta without classy Kenya is a no for me. I don't care who they bring on the show. No Kenya, the last real OG. I'm done. Yep. And Miss Logical, they probably feel like us older women. They don't care if we leave anyway. They trying to get the younger. They trying to get the younger women. They trying to get the young women. But if they doing that, they gonna have to call this show the Real Hoes of Atlanta. 'Cause baby, I can't understand no housewife conducting herself that way. Nor do I have respect for the husband that condones or support his wife carrying herself in such a manner in public. Shoot, I remember back in the day, men wanted their women to be dressed classy, Honey, don't be out there showing your body. That's for me for when you get home. Now, honey, I guess it's anything goes. I don't know what's happening. Maybe we in an upside down world. Maybe we in an upside down world. But anyway, y'all, I do appreciate you for dropping in, and it was good seeing you again, Miss Logical Speak. It was good seeing you again. I can't make no promises, but I will come back live tonight. I gotta figure out a live or figure out something. But I gotta get some errands done. I have a list of things that I need to get done today, and I'm taking each day step by step, and I'm setting a goal for each day to accomplish at least two things on my list of tasks to accomplish. Um, I know I've been told to put myself first, but it's hard. It's hard for me to put myself first. It definitely is. Um, but I definitely appreciate you guys being here. So I am your girl, Misbehaving. And the name of the channel is Misbehaving is Fun, where I talk about real people, real problems, and real drama. And contrary to popular belief, celebrities are real people too. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. And if you find yourself being mad at anything that Misbehaving had to say, baby, chances are the devil is you. So y'all be beautiful. Have a beautiful day. And if you're part of the replay game, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit like, share the video, and or leave a comment because your support is greatly appreciated. All right. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. I might bump into y'all out here in these YouTube streets, but I can't make a promise because I got to stay focused. I got two tasks to complete today. And once I finish those tasks, if I finish it in timely fashion, I'm going to pop up live later on today. We'll talk about something, but it won't be nothing negative. I'm not talking about no P. Diddy. I'm not talking about that stuff. I will not be letting no negativity in my aura, nor will I be endorsing or encouraging folks to hate on anyone. Baby, we are all human beings. We all matter. We all have feelings. There's only one race, the human race. I can't live your life. You can't live mine. What you enjoy to doing, that's your enjoyment. I will not try to control you, convince you, nor coerce you into doing something that you don't agree with. And in return, I ask for you to support me and my individuality as well. We weren't all meant to think, look, and feel the same. However, we can have some civility and respect for one another. Have a beautiful day and goodbye.